Well, hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. Hope I find you well, and today I'm going to do a follow-up on the Hornby DP1 Deltic, this wonderful model that got released from Hornby last week. And during the video, or the previous video, I did say that I'd like to run this with the West Riding Limited coaches and also the Coronation Beavertail coach, and that's exactly what I plan to do in this video. Now, before I start, I will say I don't believe the Deltic ever pulled these coaches. In fact, I'm pretty confident to say that the two were never paired together, but because I think they look so wonderful and it's indeed my railway, I'm going to run them together later in the video. So this year has been one of those wonderful starts to the year for Hornby. I don't think we've had a sort of a release cadence with this kind of gravitas since 2020, when we got the rocket and the tin plate loco and all those sort of celebrations of their anniversary, and the APT as well was announced. But this year we started off with the West Riding Limited coaches, a set of two, four sets of two coaches, and then also the Coronation Beavertail, the observation coach, so being re-released. So a lovely set of coaches, and then finally the Deltic, which a long-awaited Deltic that's been released, and I think is probably the best model Hornby has ever done. Now, I just wanted to go through a couple of observations. First one's a little correction. Is basically in the previous video I said the DP1 was basically the Deltic prototype. Somebody's corrected me and said that it's not the Deltic prototype, it's the diesel prototype. So I do stand corrected on that, my mistake. And secondly, you know, it's well documented that Hornby has been having some financial troubles over the last couple of years. And I found it quite odd that Hornby put an offer on their website of 10% off pre-orders and 15% off in-stock items for, you know, club members when this was on the horizon. So before this has even hit the shelves, this very highly anticipated, expensive model, but very highly anticipated model, before it's hit the shelves, Hornby has offered 10% off of it. And then the offer finished, and then Hornby extended it again for another week or so, right as this hit the shelves, which meant this then gave a further 5% off, a full 15% off the model as it hits the shelves. I just found that a really odd thing to do. I'm certainly not complaining. Basically, I believe that probably made the model a little bit more accessible. I mean, it's a very expensive model, and yeah, it's a significant discount. But yeah, I just was very, very surprised, and seemed a very strange thing to do. I'm sure there's a reason behind it, and what I will say, the DCC fitted version has now sold out. So the DCC is the one that I reviewed. It's also the one that I've got in my competition. We'll come to that later. And basically, this one is now sold out. You can't get this one. I believe it was limited to some extent, but I'm not sure how many there were made. But it was originally going to be quite limited to 500, but I think there's been more of those made. So the only way now to get the DCC fitted is actually to buy the analogue and fit the 21-pin chip yourself, download the sound profile. But having said that, the analogue version does appear as though it's selling quite quickly. So now if you do want one of these, the analogue ones are still for sale, but I believe they're selling quite quickly. And yeah, obviously you can convert those into the DCC version, but the DCC ones now are completely sold out. So yeah, do act quickly if you do want one of these, or why not enter my competition? But as I say, we'll come to that in a little bit. The other thing I wanted to touch on today was Sam's Trains did a fantastic review on the Deltic. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. It's really, really good, and yeah, as always, puts my videos to shame. But you know, to be fair, that is his day job, and yeah, mine's just a hobby. But a really in-depth and really thought-out review. But I was really surprised with the conclusion that this didn't have top marks. I mean, for me, this, you know, it's always was going to be an expensive loco with the die-cast body and all of the items on it. And yeah, Sam didn't feel that it gave 100% value for money, which I was quite surprised at. But we're all entitled to our opinions. Well, my takeaway from Sam's video is with the die-cast chassis, the loco will be significantly heavy, and therefore makes the die-cast body somewhat redundant. And by not having a die-cast body would have reduced the complexity in making the model and then brought the price down. And a couple of things from my side is it was the die-cast body that actually sold it to me. The fact that it's got the 00 name on there, and with the die-cast body, I felt it was an added feature. Although, you know, technically, if you put this next to a plastic one, I doubt you'd be able to see visually the difference between the die-cast and the plastic with today's moulding techniques. But for me to pick it up and feel the cold metal, I felt that's worth paying for. And what I thought I'd do is just put this side by side now with my other Deltic, which is made by Bachmann, and just have a look at some of the detailing differences that, you know, why I believe this is, well, I still believe this is one of the best models that Hornby's ever produced. Well, I put the two Deltics side by side, obviously this one being the new Hornby release, this being from Bachmann, and this is the National Railway Museum's edition from a good few years back, but still quite current. I believe this is still selling for around about the £200 mark. This one without the DCC in, about £150 more. So first thing to say is the livery. So this is the Deltic as it is in its preserved livery. This one here is the Deltic as it was back in the day when it was running on the line. And well, I mean, look at the two models. On face value, I can see exactly what Sam was talking about. I mean, apart from the livery, you'd struggle to tell the difference between the two until you start really looking into the details. The way the grills on this one are separately fitted, and you can see them moulded in on the plastic bodied Bachmann model. The printing on this and the sheen on it is so different to the plastic printing. Just the way that the paint lies on the metal, it gives a really beautiful sheen on there. The lining around the roof on this one is really, really crisp, whereas this one has got a masked area and there's a couple of areas of little bleed through around the doors. Furthermore, in the detail, the further you look, I mean, this, as we mentioned before, this one inside, it's got lights inside so you can see the interior. The interior all lights up. It's got working fans, all 4 fans work. All of that with a switch gear in the top. You can lift this panel out and there's a little switch inside so you can turn the fans on and off. It's got a full lighting package. As I mentioned, lighting inside the engine bay, lighting in both of the cabs, which is directional switches ends. You've got the red lights. You've also got the Mars light that lights up. Whereas on the Bachmann Deltic for £150 less, you just have the 2 side lights, if I remember rightly. Still got things like separately fitted wipers, separately fitted horns, and separately fitted handrails, but they're not quite as crisp. I mean, the handrails, they're sort of pushed back onto the plastic in the Bachmann version, whereas on the Hornby, they're sort of standing nice and proud. And I'm just going to mention the glass again on this model. It's got that sort of sheen of curved glass, whereas this one is just sort of moulded plastic. It hasn't quite got the same texture. And you can see where the glass is kind of fitted onto the inside of the plastic. So, you know, truth be told, when these are running at speed on the track, I doubt you'd tell the difference between them. But as a static model and as a beautiful model, you do get an awful lot more for that extra £150. You know, both models have the sprung buffers. Both models have got quite a nice lot of detail on the bogies, but obviously the Hornby one, just a little bit more pronounced, a little bit more detail. Both with separately fitted steps. This one's broken a little bit, but you can see the steps on there. And the undercarriage, very similar, same sort of dials mounted on the side or printed on the side. Same sort of steps printed. So there's not a lot between them. But yeah, I still think this is one of the best models that Hornby's ever produced. Anyway, on to my competition. So I have one of these in a prize draw. It is the DCC fitted version, the more expensive version. The full retail price on these was £404, and I'm going to give one of these away in a prize draw. I've partnered again with a company called Raffle, and basically it keeps it completely independent of me. The tickets are £3, and I think the draw runs for about another 3 weeks. Competition's drawn. I'll be sending one of these models. It's actually this one here, just on the floor next to me. I'll bring it up. There's this one here. It's completely sealed in the box, and you can see on the end here, it's the R30297TXS. So it's a DCC fitted version. Yes, it's completely sealed at both ends. That's the one that I will be sending out at the end of the competition.